Joram Beda, IAS Commissioner and Secretary, Government of Meghalaya. Shri S.C. Sadhu, IAS Secretary, Fisheries, Government of Meghalaya. Shri A. Razi, IRTS Commissioner and Secretary, Government of Meghalaya. And Srimati Isawanda Lalu, Secretary, Agriculture, Government of Meghalaya. I think she's here. Yeah. I don't see Ma'am Isawanda Lalu. So, sir, all yours.
Thank you. Again, this is a just a recap of what we have had for the last 2 days. All in all, we had a total 16 sessions with different speakers with varied experience and different backgrounds. The first session again was initially we started this international conclave with this inauguration of thematic exhibition with the participation of different agencies from Government of India, state government, and other agencies were to exhibit various water-related concepts. Uh, and followed by the which in fact which was inaugurated by Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya, followed by the inaugural plenary, which was again the chief guest of this program was Honorable Chief Minister, who again mentioned about the importance of outcomes and also about how do we leverage technologies to achieve these objectives, which was again attended by Honorable Minister in charge of water resources and other cabinet ministers, and attended by Madam Debashri Mukherjee, Secretary, Minister of Jal Shakti. Madam spoke about the need to focus on river basins to have an integrated approach and the commitment by Government of India for all the efforts by the state in this sector, and followed by Additional Chief Secretary, who spoke about that efforts must be repeated, reviewed, and actions taken on the timeline should be monitored. So this is the very fruitful inaugural program. Followed by we had this session on best practices and water conservation, and which has international, national, regional, and state participations. Which speakers were Lance Gore, Sushil Chandra Acharya, Nizamuddin Ye, Joginder Singh Chauhan, Dr. Joram Beda. And this session has particularly deliberated on the importance of irrigation modernization, integrated water resource management, water governance, water security outcomes, and other best practices. The post-lunch session was water infrastructure and development, where Mr. PM Scott highlighted the role of Central Water Commission in developing water infrastructure in particularly in northeastern regions, and Shri Sajatran mentioned about NWA works interlinking rivers, which is an effective management technique in managing water resources. Shri Rakesh Kashyap stressed on dam safety. Shri PK Singh mentioned about a need basis, mentioned that NIH work should be on need basis and factoring in the demand from several factors like irrigation and commercial and livestock and other factors. And finally, Mr. KB Paul talked about the hydro plants that NIPCO has deals with. And last session was again water, climate, and disasters. And these are the parallel sessions we are talking about. Dr. Aditi Kapoor spoke about ecosystems approach for development. So development, integrated policy and local interventions. Mr. Arvind Kumar about use of multi-track water diplomacy framework. Tihal Parmar spoke on post-disaster need assessment and decentralized water systems and structural assessments. And Mr. Vishal Singh on automatic early flood warning system based on integrated data management. Dr. B.K. Tiwari about restoration of forests is the solution. And Albert Chiang about the bottom-up approach in the circulation of the resources. Post tea break, we have the spring shed development session, and the source sustainability again, where the participants are Sri Andalabraji and Dr. Devasish Chakrabarti, and they stressed about the sustainability of source for this holistic approach that combines conservation, ecosystem protection, efficient infrastructure, and sound governance in water rich future. So these issues have been stressed. And again from MBDA, Mr. Vankit Swer about building strong community institutions, and Nripendra Kumar Sharma about community ownership of the infrastructure, and again from Kong Arab about the SRAs, how the critical water resources have been rejuvenated with using NRGS is again has been highlighted. Uh, followed by again we had thematic music and dinner, which was again attended by Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya and other various other dignitaries. So coming to this today's morning session, we started very early at 9 a.m. in the morning. The initial session, that is with the water and livelihoods, which again Dr. Chaiput Grutpan talked about the integrated water resource management and how in Mekong Valley they integrated the livelihoods in fishery sector with water management. And Mr. Vikas Goyal from ADB talked about the resilient need to build resilient water harvesting systems with the people participation, and Kong Meda about the community-based fish sanctuaries that we are in the state and the state is going to develop, and Mr. Dr. S.K. Das from ICR about we have the continuous collaboration with ICR, how ICR is transferring those latest techniques they have developed to the state and all these things, and Sri Padri, who joined online about again local techniques developed by farmers, has been discussed. Again, the same parallel session, water, gender, and equity, where Srimati Hasina Karbi mentioned about the prioritizing gender inclusivity in innovation in our projects, and Professor Sukalpa Bhattacharya that need to adequately address gender equity in water-related policies in implementation, and Mr. Prakash Singh highlighted significant challenges faced by women, and spending an average of 4 to 5 hours daily fetching water and other drudgeries. And Dr. Indrani Pukan said that gender equality is equal participation of men and women. Without participation of women, women cannot get equality. So this the again plenary session on this is an online session on hill systems, where Sri Ram Mohan Mishra sir, who is a retired IAS officer, who is again heading the Meghalaya Investment Promotion Board, shared the example of sustainable bamboo drip irrigation systems, and Mr. Murali talked about water-related disasters in hills, and Professor Ansi Narayanan talked about Living Labs initiative, pollution water bodies, and highlighted the need for the people, policy, and nature collaboration. And post tree break in the morning, we had water quality communities and session on water quality communities and governance, where Sri R. Nainamalai, who is the chairman Meghalaya Pollution Control Board, made a presentation on the initiatives of Meghalaya State Pollution Control Board in water quality measurement and control. And Srimati Badarisha and Lindam, with the chief engineer, highlighted the achievements under JJM, as has been mentioned in the previous session, and made a representation on initiatives being undertaken in Meghalaya to provide safe drinking water to all villages. And Sri Ekalavya Prasad highlighted the work being done by them in states of Bihar and Jharkhand, representatives from INREM about the initiatives undertaken by them. Again, river and water systems is the last session before lunch. The speakers discussed the impact of reduced base flows on the ecosystem, the importance of thinking in in terms of systems, and the need for balancing variables to manage the effects of climate change. The discussion also emphasized the challenges and future considerations in the water sector, highlighting the need for coordination and planning among different stakeholders. So all in all, we can say that the experiences are different from different backgrounds, people from different states, different countries, and different organizations have participated, and truly it is a very enriching experience for all of us. I'm very sure that all the participants have truly benefited and exchanged ideas by participating in this program, and surely looking forward for the further collaboration participation in the coming days. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for that quick gist and yet summarizing all the important key points. It is now time for a presentation on the draft Shillong Declaration. And to do the honors, I have the honor to request Dr. Shakil Ahmed, IAS Additional Chief Secretary, Water Resources Department. Sir.
Respected Chief Secretary, my colleagues on the dais, friends from different organizations who have taken part in this two-day deliberations, colleagues from various departments, friends from the media. The declaration of Shillong Declaration is, I'm just reading it out. It will come on the screen, I hope. Building on the understanding of the inextricable interlinkages between water resources and hill ecosystem, and with a strong commitment to achieve sustainable development, all participants of the International Conclave on Water, Hill Lives and Future, held at Shillong in February 2024, jointly declare that the following important considerations around water, climate, and sustainability of vital ecosystems will be attended holistically while planning, financing, imparting, guiding, monitoring, and evaluating any developmental agenda, especially with reference to the hill region. The vital role of water as a critical resource and need for enhanced resilience around water in hilly terrains, as underscored by the declining water table and spring water levels, waning traditional water systems, retreating and polluting rivers, changing rainfall patterns, increase in natural disasters and recent pandemic, among others. The fact that hill region will be vulnerable in absence of improved, safe and sustainable water management and any uncontrolled anthropogenic action can add to this risk. The importance of protecting springs, rivers and all other traditional water management systems, as well as the complex nature of hill ecosystems, and of ensuring sustainable and safe preservation of aquifers and other water resources. The necessity for adopting state-of-art technology for sanitation, waste, and wastewater treatment, as well as for water recycling to augment water availability. The critical need to aligning agriculture, horticulture, forestry, poultry, animal husbandry, and all other related livelihood initiatives in an appropriate manner, addressing water productivity of all hill ecosystems. The unavoidable act of ensuring safety and quality of water for all kinds of human and cattle consumption by minimizing contaminations and instituting context appropriate measures for purification and verifications. The importance of not hampering the synergy with nature and reassuring the commitment of water and ecosystems while bringing advanced amenities to enhance the quality of lives in hill systems. The vitality of reconciling with any challenges to water systems in sustainability and relaxed related matter measures and any adverse impact on environment while planning new infrastructure, industry, commerce, and business in and for the region. The significance of realizing the critical challenges posed to the nature and ecosystems while commoditizing water and profiteering on it. The need for participatory planning, implementation, and oversight of safe, sustainable, and resilient water management and governance systems to meet the drinking, domestic, irrigation, commercial, industrial, infrastructural, developmental, and emergency water needs of populations in hill regions in a reasonable manner. The essentiality of safeguarding gender equity and inclusiveness in the entire process of around water and climate. Realizing the human right to safe drinking water and sanitation with an acknowledgement that water, sanitation, and hygiene are fundamental for sustainable development. All participants of the conclave hereby commit to the careful realization of better future for hill lives around water and climate by way of generating necessary data, mindful reviews, and analysis of same and action that lead to sustainability. We also expect that the fellow citizens who are residing in other terrains, community and civil society groups, governments and at different levels, and global authorities will reciprocate the spirit of this declaration and act upon the importance of building the future and safety of lives and world around water. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shakil Ahmed. We are indeed fortunate and feel privileged that experts from different countries have participated in these 2-day deliberations here in Shillong. We would also feel privileged to listen to their key takeaways. And so we would love to listen to each and every international participant first, and then maybe a few of our national participants as well. So may I start with calling on stage for a short key takeaway from these 2-day deliberations. And I call upon Sri Sange Tenzin, Assistant Engineer Hydrology and Water Resources Services Division, Bhutan. Sir.
Oh, very good afternoon to all, distinguished plenary and all the distinguished guests. I'm very privileged to be part of this very, very interesting and uh, very interesting session, in fact. So before I uh, talk about the takeaways, I would really like to first thank the government of Meghalaya for inviting a participant from Bhutan, sole participant from my country. So I was very fortunate to be part of it. With this, on behalf of National Center for Hydrology and Meteorology, Hydrology and Water Resource Services Division, and on behalf of Government of Bhutan, I'd really like to once more thank Government of Meghalaya and all the participants. With this, the key takeaways that I have been contemplating within myself through all the sessions. Of course, I missed some of the sessions. I couldn't be on all the sessions, but the sessions that I have been attending and having heard from the few takeaways that the earlier plenary has actually given us some brief on those. What I have understood is I think there's a consensus and convergence that we all agree that water is a finite resources. We understand that one. And we also understand that with the change in the demographic and on the change in the change in demand of water as a resources, we are facing, and in the light of climate change, we are facing so many issues. Either it's too much or either it's too less in both extremes, and especially in the climate change, especially like the country like ours, the water resources, the glacial lake melt and snow melt is one of the critical component of our water resources, and that has been changing. So just as a business as usual, we cannot sit back. We have to do some interventions. We have to come on with some mitigation, adaptation work. So those are some of the things that we have to do. But in doing so, I think the one of the key message that I was getting here was that a very interesting phrase that I heard for the first time, like schizophrenia, kind of that segregated and silos approach. And that is something that even country like our Bhutan, like us, we also face the same challenge. You know, we have so many agencies doing almost similar things, but not in a very collaborative approach. Despite restructuring the governance in Bhutan, wherein all the water sector had come together, but still we have these challenges. And one of the key takeaways that having heard all those things, I think the inclusive, holistic, uh, integrated approach, I think these are some of the buzzwords that I have been hearing and which is very important, I think. We have to have an interventions done now or never. And doing so, I think the approach that we have to focus is integrated, collaborative, holistic. How do we do that one? I think that's something we have to contemplate, and depending our own governance structure, our geological structure, I think we might have some differences. But what I'm impressed is the plethora of the experiences, good practices, expertise, technical expertise here. That is something I was very impressed with. And I'm really looking forward to see how I, as in working in the Center for Hydrology and Meteorology, can have some of your expertise work with you. I would really look forward to see how I can expand uh, my organization, especially the agency, and working with you. I think that is something I would really want to. So, in the interest of time, yeah, I think one of the again that the hilly and mountainous ecosystem is so vulnerable to the like climate impacts. And one of the things that we are seeing in Bhutan is the glacial lake outburst that we have experienced in last at least two instances in last 3 years. So, which is something that we can do and hope to work with some of the expertise here that I have met, and I have personally met so many experts. So those are some of very interesting aspect of this conclave. Thank you so much. Thank you, Government of Meghalaya. Thank you.
May now request Srimati Sundar Win, Deputy Director, Ministry of Transport and Communication, Myanmar. And I take indulgence in your goodness and request you to kindly limit it to 2 minutes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am very excited and happy to attend this International Water Conclave 2024. Today and yesterday, I listened to many presentations, so I got a lot of knowledge of different water sector, especially water gender and equality and rivers water systems. Our directorate of water resources and improvement of river systems. Some responsibility is to improve the navigation channel and to stabilize the inland river bed and to protect the riverbank erosion, to protect bank erosion of border rivers, to observe the long-term existence of the cross river bridge by river engineering point of view. So I really interested in session of rivers water systems. I got a lot of knowledge. I promise that I will share the knowledge I got when I arrived to my country. And I hope that Myanmar will have the opportunity to participate in the ceremony that will be held next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. May I now call upon Sri Thach Savana, Director, Ministry of Water Resources and Meteorology, Cambodia. And again, I take indulgence in your goodness and request you to keep it to 2 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, Excellency ladies and gentlemen. On 2 days past on International Water Conclave, I learned from this very important event on water management, on IWRM, on water conservation and efficiency, infrastructure investment, water government and policy, climate change, economic ecosystem protection, and capacity building and knowledge sharing. This uh, presentation is function that very important for my department and for my ministry. When I go back, I bring this concept, this idea to explain to our colleague and our people that I attend in the International Water Conclave in Shillong. On behalf of my department, on behalf of my ministry, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to government of Meghalaya, Ministry of Water Resources, partner agency, government official, conducted and supported the International Water Conclave. In this event, in this in this very important event, we can share the own country experience on best practice in water resources management. Our education to address the pressing issue surrounding water conservation and water management is committable and critical in shaping a sustainable future for the next generation to come. Now I would like to congratulate to success of the International Water Conclave. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Sri Sushil Chandra Acharya, Joint Secretary, Energy, Water Resources and Irrigation, Government of Nepal. तपाईँलाई पनि म रिक्वेस्ट गर्दैछु 2 मिनेटको भित्र राखिदिनु.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Respected Chief Secretary, dignitary in the dais, and ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me time and this opportunity to express my takeaway. The Shillong Declaration is very relevant for Nepal as being a hill terrain country. And my major takeaway is the democracy of the water, as mentioned by Ram Mohan Mishra. Democracy of the water is very useful for the watershed conservations who have to employ it in the stream conservations, rivers management and river conservations, benefit as a common pool resources, benefit sharing and benefit distributions. So democracy of waters is major takeaway. Another takeaway is the water security. As the Meghalaya is also implementing one water harvesting projects for being making shecoats with the support for the ADBs. So such for the development of the water security, such structural measures, management improvements are very important, and other means of the water security also we have to enhance by conservations, by management improvement, and by structural measures. Another takeaway is the improvement of the river health. As the river is the one the ecosystem being very important ecosystems, and source of the human civilizations. So the maintenance of the river health is very important from the watershed to from the watershed to the water accounting, water allocations, protections, and water quality. So this is the very, and another takeaway is the holistic and integrated approach for the water resource conservation and development. I think other many takeaways, and in the last, I would like to thanks and express my gratitude for the successful completions of this international water conflicts. And again, I would like to thanks for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now call upon Dr. Chaiwood Gutpan, Lecturer in Fisheries, Ubon Ratchathani University, Thailand. And may I indulge in your goodness and request you to keep it to 2 minutes. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. First of thing, I would like to sincere thank for the co-organization for our international water conclave in Shillong, Meghalaya. For today, I can absorb many of idea, and I think in this situation is the global situation. We're living in the same pressure in terms of the development and in terms of sustainability. Yesterday afternoon session, I got the very technical word. It's very short word. Listen the song in this conference room. We are the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. May I now call upon Mr. Lance Gore, Principal Water Resources Specialist, Asian Development Bank. And I request you again for 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Secretary and Dr. Shakil. Thank you to you and your teams for organizing such a great event. In fact, it's been my privilege and honor to be able to come and join this event. I think the event has been very high quality. The venue is excellent. The organization has been superb. The discussions that we've had, I haven't been able to join all, but those that I have joined, the discussions have been very high quality and excellent, and I've learned a lot. Particularly the opening session yesterday and the speeches by the chief dignitaries. The speech from the Chief Minister and Madam Secretary of Jal Shakti, I think they really were on target. They were precisely correct, and it was so refreshing to see them acknowledge the issues and the solutions that we have available to us in terms of water conservation and water security and so forth. I thoroughly enjoyed the session last night. It was so refreshing to see high-level government officials up and dancing. Breath of fresh air, and I think that could be a slogan for your state. It's a breath of fresh air. Very proud that my organization, Asia Development Bank, is supporting your state with this project, Climate Resilience Community Managed Water Harvesting Systems, under the good leadership of Dr. Jerome. So thank you for that, and we look forward to that project going ahead. And I do hope to see that these water conclaves do happen on a regular occasion. I think there's great scope in these being annual events. Each one could tackle a different, unique challenge to India. I hope you do continue inviting international participants. The lessons we also learn by our neighboring countries, I think is very useful. And I look forward to hopefully participating in those in the future. So thank you. And I hope everyone gets home safely. Thank you.
Thank you very much. But a question has been pricking me since yesterday, and I've been wondering if a lot of you might have seen that movie around a little before 2000 when Al Gore did that first presentation and he climbed up a ladder to show how much the temperature would climb by the year 2000. And I've been wondering if you have anything to do with Al Gore and taken up under his footsteps. Anyway, that's a question we can answer later. May I call upon Engineer Kitoshe Y.I., Superintending Engineer, PHE Nagaland. And may I request you to keep it to 2 minutes, sir. Thank you.
On behalf of the government of Nagaland, I would like to thank the government of Meghalaya for inviting us to this conclave, enabling us to attend. We are three in a group. We have two engineers from the Water Resources Department and I'm from PhD department. And this conclave has given us a lot. We're taking away many things, but since time is limited to 2 minutes, I would like to take just that. I stand here and I think, and I consider this as a dream come true, because a decade ago, the villagers with special reference to Nagaland. Demand was very high. The infrastructures of the villages were more than 30, 40 years. But with NRDWP and ARDWSP schemes, the supply was very limited. But today, with the Jal Jeevan mission, our dream is coming true. Nagaland today has covered 84.04% of functional household tap connection, and we're progressing very well. But as mentioned by our mission director, Meghalaya, we're afraid now that a tap without water may happen and is happening. And that is happening in Nagaland also, because a year or two ago, we had very well seen the water sources having sufficient discharge for the requirement of the scheme. But with the implementation, it's drying up. So the fear of sources drying up is there. But with the bold initiative of the government of this source sustainability and a program like this to tackle that issue, I'm happy that the dream will come true, that the sustainability of water sources will happen. And in Nagaland, we have the Article 371A, which states that the land and the resources belong to the individuals and communities. So the takeaway is that we're going back and we're working on it for the source sustainability with the community. And that way, we will conserve water and sustainability of the source will happen, that I believe. Another takeaway is the distribution system in a hill, and Meghalaya must be facing the same thing. Although water is supplied to all the households, because of the different elevations of the households, the distribution system is a little tricky, and we have to tackle it properly. But with our chief engineer and mission director of Himachal, Sri Joginder Singh, the automated distribution system, I think, is something to be taken away and considered, and we want to do that. Community-based pocket fish sanctuary is also a possibility in Nagaland, so we are also taking that back. Another thing is the sand pebble munching technique, which was presented today. I think that is going to be a good thing for us to exercise and take away also. So with 2 minutes, let me end up here. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much, sir. May I now call upon Sri Nripendra Kumar Sharma, Chief Engineer, PHE Sanitation, Assam. And sir, I request you to also keep it within 2 minutes. Thank you.
Respected Chief Secretary, Governor of Meghalaya, including other distinguished officers, Government of Meghalaya, and August gathering. Well, first of all, I would like to congratulate the organizers for organizing this International Water Conclave, which is the first of this kind in this region. And I believe this tagline, it is distributed in the registration that, okay, let your ideas grow. And this tagline will be fulfilled by all of our participants after going back. And coming back to the major takeaways, I would like to say that firstly, the inter-stakeholder approach for water sector, not in silos, and to ensure redress, number one, redress for challenges across the water spectrum. Number two, benefits of meaningful utilization along with harvesting approach. Number three, constructive approach with data and experience sharing with much needed conservation practice without disturbing the biodiversity. Number four, healthy water ecosystem. A delicate balance is necessary between the implementation and the social approach. By saying social approach, I would like to say here one tagline. After attending this conclave, one tagline I would like to quote here: "Water for community, community for water." Water must be ensured the reaching the unreached, and for the community, and also community will have to reciprocate to ensure the healthy ecosystem. And lastly, the necessity of capacity development for a climate resilient approach. So these are the major takeaways I would like to propose to my government, and so that the more and more or trust areas can be acted upon on this line, and also many other activities as per the area specific locations. And finally, on the a point of just suggestive if inclusion into the Shillong declaration, and actually yesterday also during my presentation I put forward one suggestion that there should be a today I should say that okay, government of Meghalaya should take the lead to form a interstate panel on water uses council. I believe, and this is for the northeastern region. For the northeastern region, if this interstate panel on water uses council, if it is formed, and considering the successful completion of this international water conclaves, I would like to request government of Meghalaya to take the lead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I now call upon Sri Deepak Singh, Additional Chief Engineer from Sikkim, Government of Sikkim. And sir, may I request you to kindly also keep it within 2 minutes? Thank you.
The respected Chief Secretary, sir, and Meghalaya State, I would like to thank the Meghalaya State for inviting us to Sikkim, to Meghalaya, to attend the International Water Conclave. This conclave was very fruitful, and 3 of us from Sikkim have attended the this conclave, and there have been many takeaways, but most of it has been already spoken about. So hence I would like to thank the state of Meghalaya for this conclave. Thanks.
And last but not the least, may I request Engineer L. Angu, CEPND, Team Leader from Arunachal Pradesh. Sir, may I also request you to keep it to 2 minutes? Thank you.
Respected dignitaries on dais and off dais. As of now, it was told that the grass is green everywhere in the northeast. This implies that there is enough of water and moisture to sustain the plant vegetative growth in our region. But after listening to the expert panel discussions and listening to the deliberations of the panelists, I think this statement may not hold true tomorrow. We need to look into it. So the basic key takeaway points that I have learned from this international conclave are one is building data bank or the data repository creation, and it's a sharing pattern so that the decision making of the policy makers is always data driven, data backed up. This is very important, which I have noted it down and I'll carry it back home as well. Second point is the strengthening of a water governance mechanism and enabling coordination among the various stakeholders. Because as of now, many of the states and many of the organizations are working in silos. This has to be coordinated. And someone told that the one who solves the problem of water deserves receiving 2 Nobel Prizes. One for technology, the other one is for the peace. Peace means the managing the society, managing the people with people inclusive decision. So for which I have noted it down that promoting community participation in decision making and its implementation is very important. Then these water sector issues is to be looked into holistically and depending on the interdependence of the catchment area or the watershed, a district approach, state approach, regional approach, even international approach has to be looked into for this. The whole process should be aligned with the law of the nature. It should be sustainable economically and environmentally and adaptable. It should be socially. In short, we have been enlightened in this conclave. I really, three of us from Arunachal had participated. I really thank the government of Meghalaya, Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India, and really would like to appreciate the organizers who made it a day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So, after having listened to the key takeaways from all our overseas or international participants and a few of our national participants, it's now time for our Chief Secretary, Shri D.P. Walang, IAS, to kindly deliver a special address and also deliver, or rather release, the Shillong Declaration. And I request the girls to kindly bring the, yeah. Let's have a round of applause. Sir D.P. Walang, may I kindly request you to address the gathering?
Thank you, Rahul. You forgot to mention that I have only 2 minutes. Just joking. Dignitaries on the dais, led by Dr. Shakil Ahmed, the Additional Chief Secretary, Government of Meghalaya Water Resources Department, who is also the Chief Architect and anchor of this International Water Conclave. My colleagues, Mr. Andalib Razi, the Commission Secretary of PHE, Dr. Jaram Beda, the Commission Secretary of Soil and Water Conservation, Mr. C.B. Sadhu, the Secretary of Water Resources, all the officials from different departments, all the delegates who have come from different countries and different states to participate in this conclave. Ladies, gentlemen, first and foremost, I must confess that it's always very tough to speak last because almost all the points have been covered. When Mohammed Razi was summing up, I realized that he stole all the points that I was supposed to speak. So if I'm going to speak everything that has been written down over here, so it'll be a repeat. So I'll make it very short as it is. I think so. You're all very tired, and the room temperature is such it's very conducive to a good sleep also. So first and foremost, the International Water Conclave over the last 2 days is very well timed and topical, given the importance of the topic of water that is assumed for the state, country, and globally. I'm sure that detailed discussions and deliberations have been held by experts over issues like water, infrastructure, climate change, disaster, and all other springshed development and source sustainability. Experts have also discussed about water, gender, livelihoods, and a separate session was also there on the hills system. The health of rivers, especially those in Shillong, as mentioned yesterday by our Honorable Chief Minister, is also something that has taken high priority in our state. The paradox is that Meghalaya has the cleanest villages in Asia, but two of the most polluted rivers right here in the middle of the town, which we are battling time and again. And just yesterday, when we had a cabinet meeting, also quite a number of key decisions were taken to ensure that we turn them around. Now, after you have sat here for 2 days and discussed a lot of things, I think so. I'll just have a few pointers from my side, and that is, as mentioned before, Uh, as far as water management is concerned in the state, there are so many departments that involve. In fact, in our state, it's urban, it's rural, it's water resources, PHE, soil and water conservation, forest, and the whole of government approach that was spoken by Razi is there, yes, in the state. But there are some issues that still needs to be tackled. It must be there in all the northeastern states. In fact, this issue must be there, and even in the, nearby countries like Nepal, like Bhutan. One of the key points is that we really need to talk to each other. That is, one department needs to talk to each other, to the other, because once you start working in silos, it becomes very, very difficult, and then you just replicate and you just duplicate the projects and the implementation. The second point is that if multiple departments are working together towards a common cause, there has to be a proper grassroots connect. Officers from different departments need to go to grassroots. We just can't sit in forums like this and sit in the secretariats, sit in the directorates. You really need to go to the field, to the last mile. And that is where actually you learn about the challenges. That is what you learn about the various issues when it comes to water management. Like, for example, we keep on traveling to different places. We have seen that JJM is doing well. We have achieved 75% water connection is there. But when you talk to local people, you realize something which is not seen in the files, which is not seen actually in discussions. And that is local people will tell you, look, the pipes have been laid, the water is running through the pipes, but kindly have a look at the source. The sources are depleting slowly and slowly. And as time is passing, if we don't take care of that, you realize that you have a water supply system, but there is no water to flow in the system. So you'll learn all these only if you go to the last mile, you talk to the people in the villages, and you have discussions and deliberations at those points. Then another point is that follow-up action is so important. For example, we have tree plantation, we have an EAP also, but tree plantation is going on around the sources so that the sources are rejuvenated. However, there is no proper follow action at times. So you go and plant a tree, fine. You go back after 2 years. If the trees are not there anymore, what is the use of going through that whole charade of tree plantation? It has to be followed up. So therefore, my request to all the departments is that once you have completed the first step, follow-up action also is required to be done. This is for the different departments they're talking about. The second point I would like to put across is source management. We need to rejuvenate, we need to resuscitate the various sources. It's very, very important, as I've mentioned, and various forestry activities that is taking place now, which we have mapped through NESAC, that needs to be followed up properly. People are saying that the government doesn't have money. It's not true. In fact, for source regeneration, we have a lot of money. There is an EAP. There are funds from triple MRF. There's fund from MPRF. There's CAMPA. I mean, Forest Department has a lot of money which can be utilized in all states, in fact, in the Northeast, not only in Meghalaya. I'm talking about for all the hill states and even other states in the country also. These are all sources of money which huge money are actually lying in the bank account. So these sources of funding can always be used for source rejuvenation. Third is yesterday, I think so in one presentation, I saw that there has to be political will for engaging and ensuring that user charges are there in water management and water supply. Well, I have a different take on this. It's political will always come if you manage to convince the political executive. It's not very difficult. It's actually the community involvement which is more important. You have to talk, you have to engage with the local communities. In fact, when it comes to user charges, it's difficult in the urban area. In the rural area, surprisingly, it's easier. What we have done is that through the village water and sanitation committee, we've seen that in the rural areas under JGM, they are taking money maybe up to 20, 30 rupees per household per month. Small amount, but it's started and people are not complaining as long as water is coming into their household. So this practice is happening now for the last 2, 3 years, and I'm sure that as time passes, more and more will be engaged, more and more will come through, and even in the urban area also it'll be much, much easier. The fourth point that I would like to mention is the role of education department. Razi is both PhD in education, so it's important that you listen to this properly. In fact, when it comes to the definition of a syllabus, we tend to forget about water conservation and we tend to forget about waste management. I don't know how many are aware, but Shillong is a very unique city. It's a city where we don't have even a sewerage system. I don't know how many cities are there in the country without a sewerage, but we are one city without a proper network of, a sewerage system. So it's very, very difficult to keep the rivers clean, the water bodies clean, because we were never taught right from our childhood where should the waste water go. This is very important because it is through education department that students should be taught about this. Where should the wastewater go? It should be part of your syllabus. It should be part of your environmental studies. And we don't do it. Even today also, have not seen any book where they talk about waste management, where they talk about, treatment of wastewater. People in school don't know what is gray water. They don't know what is black water. It's unfortunate. So it's important that we educate the students. It's important that they should know something about water conservation. They should know something about waste management. The last point I'd like to touch is use of technology. In fact, two very important sectors are water and power. In the power sector, everybody talks about reforms, and when they talk about reforms, they talk about T&D losses. If you want so much money from the government of India, your T&D losses should be reduced to 20% to 15%. AT&C losses should be reduced to so and so percent. Then you'll get your funding. Surprisingly, I've never come across a forum, not even here, in fact, that they'll talk about T&D losses in the water sector. We have a water policy. I would request the departments to kindly have a look at this and start defining T&D losses in water sector. 70% of the water that is released from Mauplang, which is the source of water for Shillong city, is actually lost, and about 30 to 35% is supplied. It means that T&D losses is nearly 65%. This is not a good trend, obviously. So therefore, we need to use technology. We need to properly implement a SCADA system. We need to use IoT to ensure that optimal supply, optimal use of water is there and the efficiency is increased. So these are a few pointers that I would like to share with all of you. I'm sorry I could not be there in all the sessions because of the cabinet meeting yesterday, which took a long, long time. And I'm sure that the discussions and deliberations will go a long way. The Shillong Declaration, congratulations to all of you who are here for, formulating this declaration. And I'm sure that this will go a long way in helping better water management in the states, in the country, and globally. I would like to thank all those who are involved in this conclave, right from the Ministry of Jal Shakti, the departments of the government of Meghalaya, different departments, and of course the champion of this whole exercise, Dr. Shakil, who has been working tirelessly for the last 2 months to ensure fruition of this conclave. In the end, I would like to thank and congratulate organizers for organizing a pertinent and timely deliberations on the most important issue globally. I also thank the participants for taking time and effort to share the knowledge and wisdom. I'm sure everyone here has been enriched by this experience. On concluding, I would like to say that Shillong is a beautiful place. Don't forget to move around. Don't forget to visit places of tourist attraction. Have a good time. Shakil is a great person as far as hospitality is concerned. He will take care of all your requirements, and I'm sure that you'll go back with good memories. With these few words, I thank all of you. Kublai, Mitela, Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. And for the most important part on the last session of the last day, to propose the vote of thanks, I request Dr. Joram Beda, IAS Commissioner and Secretary, Government of Meghalaya. Sir.
Respected Chief Secretary, DP sir, respected Additional Chief Secretary, Dr. Shakil sir, Commissioner PHE Razi sir, my colleague CB Sadhu, friends from media, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks for this memorable occasion. Today, I take this opportunity to express my deepest sense of gratitude and appreciation to all those who made it possible for such a resounding success. To begin with, on behalf of Government of Meghalaya, I would like to thank all the delegates who have participated here. I would also like to place on record the efforts of Bini, Iba, Shubham, Vishal, Divakar, Gunanka, Wankit, and officers of Water Resource Department, MBDA, MBMA, Soil and Water Conservation Department, Transport Department, State Protocol, GAD, etc. Next, I would like to thank Madam Debashi Mukherjee, Secretary, Ministry of Jal Shakti, for gracing us and encouraging us. I also would like to thank Chief Secretary, sir, who has been continuously guiding us since day one when me and Additional Chief Secretary met him to propose the organization of such a conclave. My heartfelt thanks to Honorable Chief Minister and Minister WRD for their blessings. Last but not the least, I thank Additional Chief Secretary Dr. Shakil sir for leading the efforts from the very front. And at the end, I would like to say this is the first edition of Shillong International Water Conclave, but not the last. See you next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for attending with so much rapt attention. Tea should be ready outside. Request you to kindly serve yourselves a cup. Thank you.